Hello there. So today I'm gonna make a little video about how I make these split pouch slings, or especially how I get this, I heard it called by a few different names, but I hear this called, the Cobra knot or the Cobra weave. Basically, it's about how to get one of these on your slings, whether you want it on the split pouch itself or you want it going down the length of the cord to give it a little more integrity, or just to style it out a little bit. This is a much more simple one. This is really probably where you can start if you want to, but really it's about getting it to this point here to getting it to this point here. So you can start off with any length of paracord that you want to use. Just for the sake of demonstration, I won't be making a full length one, but just showing how to get to here. All right, so this next part is pretty simple. There's plenty of videos on YouTube that show how to make, a super quick and easy functional rock sling right off the bat. But of course, we want to make one that looks a little nicer, maybe has a little more hold. So usually you can start off with this S, and this S right here is the beginning of a really basic 3-strand pouch. You just take one end of it, you wrap it around, put it through that hole right there. And right there, you got one side of your pouch starting to form. You flip it over, you repeat the exact same process. Now from here, as you will see on a lot of other videos, whatever the length of your paracord is, whenever you make yourself a little loop on one end and you give yourself some sort of retention bead or knot on the other, this is what you'll have in the middle. And it's with this that you can then, it is then with this very, very basic 3-strand pouch that you can then pop something into, and then you can start slinging from there. However, how we get to here is if you pull like this, you can clearly see, the third or the middle strand right there. And basically what you're going to be doing is cutting it here and here and melting off the ends just like this. Look at it from all directions so you know that it's, you kind of see that diagonal cross right there. That's the one that you want to take out. It's the one that you can clearly tell is in the middle. You follow that. Give that a quick snip. We'll melt that down. And press that in. Give it a nice quick cut to minimize the fraying. Go ahead, start to fuse it. While it's still hot, press it down. All right, so It's not perfect, but for demonstration purposes, we got it right here. So now that we got both of these right to this exact same position, it's about getting this to this. Let's put blue on here. I always fuse everything quick because I don't like fraying. Don't worry, I got the window open. From here, go ahead and take your strand and get it moved all the way up, just like that. Make sure it's nice and tight against this knot here at the beginning of one side of the split pouch. And give yourself a simple overhand. So let's start from the right side. So you're gonna take this part of the strand on the right side. You're gonna lay it over. You'll pinch it right there between your thumb and your forefinger. You wanna move this to the side. Now, starting with that strand on the left, you gotta move it over the other strand, just like this. Now you're gonna wanna take that strand from the left and push it through and pull through the loop on the right side. And pull it tight. You're gonna see a little knot forming on this side. And the trick to this is now, wherever that knot is on one side, that's where you begin the next loop. You put it over the strand in the middle, just like that. Do the little knot. It goes over, take the other side, put it under. Pinch, grab that through. Go ahead and pull that taut. All right, knots on this side, now it's on this side. The easy way to remember this is whatever side that little knot is on, that's the side that you lay over the middle, bring over. Side over, underneath the strand in the middle, you pull that through. And now you can see we're starting to get that cobra, that snaking back and forth. And it's just alternating like that down the entire length of one side of the pouch. Not only does this give it a little bit of style, you can give it a little more color, personalize it a little more. It helps to give the split pouch a lot more body, and it is able to hold on to whatever you're slinging, whether it's foam balls or you're slinging rocks, whatever. And you can really see it forming now. There you go. So now that I've done the Cobra weave down this side, unfortunately I didn't make this strand long enough to go the whole way, but we'll just pretend that I got all the way down to the end. And when you do, you know, on this one that I made here, I decided to do little overhand knots and then melt it down. But I found that especially with this one here. That's not necessary, you know, if you want it to have a little bit of a cleaner, more flush look. All you gotta do is pull that last knot down at the end super tight. Sometimes I gotta use the thumb and forefinger, and I'll stick my middle and my ring to help pull this taut so that I get a nice clean cut. From here, just take that lighter. Once it gets close, just push that in while it's still nice and hot. And there you go, you should have it sealed. And that is basically how you add the Cobra weave onto a originally 3-strand pouch. You cut the middle out, fuse it down, so you now got a 2-strand split pouch. You just add your Cobra weave to it, and once it's done, you just fuse it, and then you're good to go. Should end up looking more like this. Now, something that I found is, especially with this very smooth, you know, very, very fine nylon that I use, I will usually go ahead and I will rub a little beeswax on it, and then I'll use a hair dryer to help it impregnate or embed in there really well, just so that, especially if I'm throwing something rough like rocks, this really smooth, fine material won't fray as fast. You know, if you're just throwing little foam balls like this, you don't gotta worry at all. But I have found, especially when the pouch is this light, putting a little bit of beeswax in there does give it a little more weight. I mean, you could just sling right from here, right? That's functional, that works, but I mean, hey, being able to add a little more color and it gives a little more grab to what you're throwing, yes please. So I hope that this was informative. You know, I see plenty of macrame and paracord bracelet tutorials where they show you how to do this, but I haven't seen anybody really apply that to how to put it onto a split pouch sling. So with that said, happy slinging.